What is up, my Aquarius soul family? Welcome back to the channel. And of course, if you guys are new here, welcome in. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and make sure you turn on your notifications. You can stay notified with all of my collective readings and other offerings. So glad to have you guys with us. Like I said, this is for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and even Venus, wherever you have Aquarius in your chart. This is your July 2026 collective reading. Now, as always, of course, this is a collective reading, so be sure to just take whatever resonates, whatever speaks to your personal situation and leave the rest for others, okay? Now, Aquarius, before we get into you guys' individual reading, I do want to talk a little bit about the energy of July because this month kind of has this sort of hero's journey undertone to it, right? We kick off this number 7 months, and seven is like that hermit energy in tarot, right? And we kick off in Cancer season. So we're gonna really kind of start the month in a very inward kind of introspective kind of energy, right? We're some of those old feelings and especially things around certain family patterns and things like that might be coming up for us at the beginning of the month so that we can take a closer look at it and kind of excavate the wisdom from our past and from our previous experiences, right? Because that's that hero's journey. You go through the journey, you go through these experiences, you learn from them, and then it becomes part of what you embody and take back to the collective or community as your wisdom, your lived experience wisdom, your medicine, so to speak. And the latter half of the month, when we get into Leo season, we really start to embody more of the universal energy of July, which is actually a number 8, since we are in a number 1 universal year. That's 7 plus 1 becomes 8. So that is the strength card in tarot, and that is very much in alignment with Leo energy and Leo season. That is where we start kind of asking ourselves, all right, like we learned all this stuff, we did all this, now what do we do with it, right? How can we embody it more? And how does it become the medicine and wisdom that we have to share with others? The culmination of the hero's journey, completion. So that is the kind of, overarching energy of July for us as a collective. Now, Aquarius, your reading feels very connected to your soul's purpose. Okay, it feels like spirit might be really trying to wake you up and shake things up and get you out of this one version of your life that you've been living for a while into another path or an like expansive type of energy into alignment, right? Something that feels more meaningful, something that is more you, that is connected to your soul purpose. So as we go through your reading, what I want you guys to kind of sit with is, where is spirit trying to lead you right now? Like, what are the little nudges and signs and synchronicities that you are seeing that are leading you towards something that you have probably been a little too afraid or maybe even uncertain about to fully commit to, even though you want to, right? So I want you guys to sit with that as we go through your reading. Okay. Now, Aquarius, your emotional color frequency this month is scarlet, number 7, saying attract success. Okay. Now, scarlet is such like a bold, vibrant color, right? So it definitely has that red root chakra energy to it. But it does feel a lot stronger and more intentional than just like a, regular red. Um, this feels more connected to like passion and your drive, your purpose, your ambition, the things that you truly desire for yourself, right? And with this being a number seven, like I said about that 7 month and that hermit energy, you know, this comes from the inner reflection and from um, being honest about yourself about what is in alignment and what no longer is. Okay. So you guys might be realizing that, there's a difference between pursuing a path or like um, chasing a certain way of doing things because it looks successful from the outside, right? Um, versus being drawn to something that genuinely feels like part of your path and purpose. Okay. Some of you might be kind of distinguishing the difference between that this month. And this is about going within and reflecting on things first and listening inward before making any major decisions and just really kind of looking at that. What keeps calling you? What, what ideas keeps kind of surfacing over and over. um what is something that you feel is going to bring you success and you want to do it but you keep putting it off, and okay, like, yeah, one day I'm going to get to it. It's something that you guys keep circling back around, and this month is going to become a lot harder for you to just keep pushing it aside. Okay. Now, let's get into the areas of impact for you guys, because the first place this is showing up for you this month, Aquarius, is number 77, spirituality. Okay, and this indigo violet kind of color. So again, you got that seven, and it's a double seven. So it's, an amplified energy in your field right now. With all of these sevens showing up, your spiritual life is probably opening up in a much bigger way this month. Okay. You guys are probably receiving a lot of downloads and like signs and synchronicities and stuff from spirit. Just kind of, those intuitive nudges that are, showing you um where you're being directed next, and what is calling to you, right? You might even get some kind of clarity around certain things, and you can see things from a completely different perspective this month. um, you could really find yourselves drawn deeper into things like prayer and meditation, spiritual work. It could even be divination and stuff, or energy work of some kind. Maybe even just exploring sacred texts and things like that for some of you. But, ultimately, this is about the time that you spend with spirit, you know, um, deepening that connection. And, for some of you, this could be a spiritual awakening kind of thing. Um, for some of you, this is spirit really trying to guide you towards your soul purpose, and I say that because the next card is number 78, spiritual career, with this pink and purple color. So pink is like that high heart chakra. So it is related to your heart chakra, but it also brings in your relationships with others, right? How you are in service. So, compassion, and it might be like a healing service for some of you, or being in some type of spiritual support leadership kind of role, right? Um, like I said, purple is that relationship, those outer relationships with the, being in service, and the pink, and then purple is spirit. It is your purpose, your intuition, and your higher self, your higher guidance. Now the number 78, that's what, 15, so that's a six. That's going to be connected, like I was saying, just, service and care and compassion, healing. That's all number six energy, very much a Cancerian kind of energy. It's the spiritual work that you do that supports other people, right? So, like I said, this could literally be pointing some of you into a spiritual career of some kind, you know, or healing career of some kind, where you're kind of being called to step in and teach or mentor, or offer a service of some kind and take something that you have learned through your own life, your own lived experience, and it becomes something that you turn into something that helps other people, right? Your story serves others too. It becomes part of your medicine. The completion of the hero's journey is very much, you know, that kind of energy, right? Um, you know, it doesn't mean quit your job and become a tarot reader tomorrow either. But this is bringing you into a path that is more like deep soul work. You know what I mean? So stop treating your gifts like they're separate from your real life. Some of you might kind of keep those two separate, you know, and not kind of share with the mundane world what it is that you do in a spiritual way. But there might be a path that is opening up for you where you get to use those gifts in service, you know, and it might not necessarily look the way that you thought it would have been either, but it's going to feel right. And that is the main thing. You know, this is something that is you're meant to do, a soul calling. Okay. Then we also have card 55, another master number showing up here. Adventure in this aqua blue and green color. So, you know, with this being an adventure card, um, that path is probably going to be outside of what is routine and normal to you. You know, it's going to be something unfamiliar. Um, Obviously for some of you this could be like literal travel type of adventure, but ultimately this is about life being an adventure, you know, getting out and doing something new or meeting new people. Maybe it's like joining a class or saying yes to something like an invitation of some kind, or maybe even exploring a new spiritual path. Like I said, something that feels unfamiliar to you. Okay. That aqua blue and green, that is your heart and throat chakra. So, you know, that's your true self. So there might be something that you are ready to explore because it is something you're passionate about, something that, you know, you have your heart set on, something that's more aligned with your higher self than a previous version of you, maybe, right? Um, Now 55 is like big change energy, right? You know, big shifts, some type of big timeline shift, this feels like. Um, you know, probably don't have the whole map yet, and that's the whole point, right? It gets to be an adventure. So all you have to do is take those aligned, actionable steps when you feel that call, when you are inspired, you know. This is about leaving the familiar path and stepping into the unknown. Okay. Now, the deeper story behind this for you guys. Um, First, we have the angels of the four directions. We also have discovery, letting go, new supportive connections, and commitment. So, yeah, you guys, I definitely feel like this is some type of soul purpose related thing, like a soul contract regarding your purpose. Like you guys are being guided out of an old version of your life and into your soul purpose, quite literally. So, you know, starting with this number 4 spirit card, angels of the four directions. 4 is your foundation, right? Like stability and structure. standing on solid ground. You can kind of look at it as that. And the four directions makes me think of how the path is opening up for you and how, you're strengthening your foundation and rebuilding more on solid ground, and how you are supported and being held from every side, north, south, east, west, the road, behind you, your past, your future, all of that, you're still learning and you're still growing. And, you guys are stepping into some unfamiliar territory, and spirit wants you to know, you're not wandering aimlessly. You are being guided and you are being supported. It's that whole not all those who wander are lost kind of thing. Um, so you have guidance, and it's showing up. Support, guidance, protection, it's all showing up from all directions. Okay. Now we also have discovery with this number 8 intention card. And eight can be, 8 can be karmic. Like I said, 8 is that the universal energy of this month, that very much strength Leo type of energy. So it can be connected to your confidence and things like that, but it can also be connected to your resources, like your money, your career, making something real and tangible in the physical world, right? Um, you guys might be discovering something important this month. Maybe it's about yourself, or like a gift of yours, maybe you didn't even know you had, or maybe, like I said, a spiritual interest of some kind, or like a new path that you explore, new opportunity or something like that. It feels almost like this version of your purpose has been kind of quietly sitting just beneath the surface. So some of you might already be in a spiritual career of some kinds, and you are just expanding in that, or redefining and restructuring the foundation of your business. For some of you, it can look different. Either way, this is about being open and curious, because that's how you discover something, right? Is staying open and curious about life and about things that come your way. Because, you can't, um, you can't place yourself into a box where it's like you do just this one thing, um, and you don't open yourself up to new potential avenues that might be something that really inspires you or is more connected to your purpose in some kind of way. Like I say, you might find something out or discover something within yourself that you didn't know was there, an enhanced gift or expanded path of some kind, something that expands in your spiritual career or spiritual life, something, kind of like that. Now we also have letting go, and that's a number 3 energy card showing up here. 3 is like, um, communication. It's also creativity and your creative expression. So this could be related to the stories that you tell yourself, even. There might be some type of old story about yourself or your life and what you thought was possible that you are letting go of and releasing this month. You know, um, you might be closing some doors. And, for some of you, this could be stories around, connected to things like your self-worth and what's possible for you. You might have some fears coming up around not being good enough, or um, I don't know, just feeling like you got to have every part of it figured out, or maybe feeling like something, maybe it's too late in life for you to pursue something, or whatever. Whatever is coming up for you to process around family patterns and things like that. These are cords that are meant to be cut. because those are the doors that you are closing so that new doors of potential can open up, right? There are certain things that cannot go with you into this next chapter, you know? So that could even be an old version of you. It might have, you know, everything that you like it, how can like an identity of some kind, a spiritual identity of some kind or whatever. It could look really good on paper, but like it didn't really feel fully like you. Like the intention behind it was good, but it just isn't serving you, or it just isn't working out, or what have you. Those types of things are all what you are releasing so that you can enter this path of alignment with your higher purpose. Okay. Then we have new supportive connections. It's number 5 people card. All right. I'm sorry, number 8 people card. Um, oh, look at that. The next one is so you got 8 3 8 3. It's funny, 8 3 8 3. So you got that showing up here, that little number pattern showing up here twice. Okay, so that's definitely some type of activation for you guys too. Um, especially with discovery and letting go and new supportive connections and commitment. Um, I feel like yeah, look at that. The discovery and new supportive connections, those are both 8, and the letting go and commitment, those are both 3s. So that definitely speaks to something here. That pattern feels really important. So 8, like I was saying, that could be karmic connections and things like that. But it is also what is tangible. Okay. So um it could kind of be the tangible side of this deeper story, where that's more so about your confidence and opportunities that are showing up for you, career movement and certain resources, people that can help you build something real. Where the number 3 is um the more expressive side of it, right? So using your voice and sharing your creative gifts and ideas, um making a commitment to something that really matters to you. Now also I want to point out with that number combination, 8 and 3 is 11. So that is that master number, which is your intuition and like higher guidance and stuff like that. So, just that looking at those numbers alone, this could definitely be a month where opportunities are coming in through new people and um conversations and collaborations, um and things that are like almost synchronistic, like the universe just aligned all of this ever so perfectly, right? It's not just random, this isn't like some random social kind of thing. This feels like people who are part of your soul family, um it, it could be friends, but it could also be like mentors and clients even for some of you, and um I don't know, people that you collaborate with and who really understand you and what you're trying to build or what you're trying to become, who you're trying to grow into. um and then we have commitment, like I was saying, that number 3 event card. And so this is a solid commitment of some kind. So, with this new supportive connection, this could be where you release someone or something and it opens up new connections, higher level commitments. Okay. Could be something like that. Or obviously, this could also be your commitment to yourself or your commitment to a new spiritual career type of path, right? A project or um, class of some kind, like something that you're studying, um, you know, business ideas, things like that. Something that you've been wanting to do. This is about making a commitment to that, you know. This is more so about like you've been thinking about it for a while. You've been drawn to it for a while. You've probably been guided to it spiritually, through spiritual synchronicities and all the kind of things like that, your intuition for a while. And now you're finally ready to make that commitment, you know? So Aquarius, you guys, stay open this month. Because things might shift with this 55 adventure. Things might kind of shift unexpectedly or just kind of quickly, right? We are in a fire horse year after all, too. So there might be little things, little connections, little detours, and new people coming in. They might, um, really be showing up for a purpose, even if you thought it was going to be different. Um, Maybe that's the whole point. You don't have to build this next chapter on your own. You actually have supportive connections who are coming in to help you build and help you grow. It might be some type of, like I said, collaboration. That word just keeps coming through. Um, so talk to people, ask questions, get to know people. When something really inspires you, you feel that full body fuck yes, accept that invitation, follow it, explore that path, whatever that is. Just let yourself be curious about life and what is opening and expanding for you right now. And if you discover in this something that is just not working in your path anymore, then let it go. Release it and don't feel bad about it. It doesn't mean that you failed. This is like a pivot point for some of you, and you might just be making room for what is truly in alignment to come in to find you. Um, Now Aquarius, your spiritual support this month, I really, really love too. This is some very powerful people and some of my favorites. So you've got this is probably my favorite one of all. Mary Magdalene teacher awakens. Okay. And she says that you have something important to share. So follow the inner call and don't let anything stop you. That is like a direct confirmation of that spiritual career card for sure. Okay. So, like I was saying, there is something that you guys have learned through life and your own personal experiences, and it is ready to become somehow useful in your career path. So I mean, maybe it's a story you have to tell, or maybe there's medicine in it that can kind of help others when you share it. Or maybe your story is meant to be told through some type of creative expression, like writing a book or um something that you teach, or like a creative offering of some kind, just your truth that is ready to be spoken out loud. And it's funny too, because I'm speaking to myself as in Aqua Sun as I'm reading this to you guys, and I can definitely see how this is showing up for me too, because I've been thinking of my own personal story for a long time and speaking that truth. So some of you might be feeling that nudge too, you know? And the point is that you don't have to um have this perfect little packaged thing simply to begin. You know what I mean? Um, if it matters to you, then you need to do it and quit putting it off. Quit coming up with excuses based on fear or doubt or anything else, because that is not truth. That is an illusion. That is old programming, and you're no longer that person. Okay. Then we have Dwal Cool with Dharma unfolding. Okay. He says to remember that you are on a path. Take one step at a time to happiness. Aqua babes, I love you, but this is really important for us because you know, sometimes we could see the finish line before the whole thing. We are such like future thinkers with certain things sometimes, and we could see that big vision so clearly that it can be a little frustrating when things don't arrive as you can foresee them, you know what I mean? Um, um, or if we have a certain idea about how things are supposed to look, this is just spirit's way of reminding you to just stay present. You don't have to stay so future oriented, constantly thinking about like what next or how to improve or whatever. Let things naturally unfold and keep taking those aligned, actionable steps towards the things that really move you, the things that you are passionate about, the things that you want to share or do, um you're there. Take one step at a time and keep pursuing that happiness. And we also have the divine director with intervention and purpose. And he says, divine intervention is occurring. Know that you are being guided. Happiness is your purpose. So look, right after I said that with well, cool, here you go. So, things might be different than you expected the way that they unfold this month, but you're being redirected to something even better. That's how divine intervention works. It's not always pleasant when spirit comes in and shakes shit up. Sometimes it might feel a little bit like a tower moment, okay? But that tower moment is to solidify your foundation so that you could rebuild on solid ground. So, whatever it is that happens, whether it is a one thing like one door being closed or a change in plan or a person leaving your life in some way, whatever that door is that is closing, it is meant to, and it's meant to close so that the door to the higher timeline or the path of abundance, the path of your purpose, so that can open up. Okay, because that is what is truly meant for you. And lastly, you have Lord Ganesh with infinite abundance, right? That's the path to abundance that wants to open. So he says obstacles are being removed, spiritual support and connections are increasing. That fits so beautifully with all of this, with what I was just saying, and also with this new supportive connections card. And even your postcard from Spirit, which I know I'm going to read in just a second, but I've already read it, and so I can see how it ties in. Um, you know, um, Obstacles, the things that have held you back, whether it is people who are in your life or being just overwhelmed, being a one-man circus or one-woman circus, right? Or whatever it is, whatever kind of obstacles, even if it's your own limiting beliefs, all of these things are being removed. And true support and spiritual support, connections with people are opening up, and abundance is opening up for you. Okay. Now let's go ahead and get into your final message from Spirit. Aquarius, it says, Dearest you, miracles never run out. Look back over your life and you will see so many moments of synchronicity when all the right people, the right place, the right opportunities, and the right time just showed up without any of your help. Think back to how you felt just before a miracle happened. You probably felt you were giving up, but it was more like a gentle surrender to whatever was about to happen. We want you to know that miracles are being concocted for you even now, and you will never ever run out of them. You just don't always get to choose how they come, who will deliver them, when they show up, what they will do for you. All of that is our department. Spirit knows what is best for you and what wants to be expressed through you. You are incredible and amazing and a magnet for miracles. That would be a good mantra for you today. We're on it. So relax. If you only knew how much you were loved, sigh. So, yes, that is your final message from Spirit and Aquarius. I've said it in probably every other reading I did, and I'm going to say it again in this one. I love this deck. I always use this postcards from Spirit deck to as the final card pull, and it always ends up like taking every message from the spread from the reading and kind of bringing it all together in one card. Somehow it has the ability to do that. I don't know, because it doesn't matter how many different decks I use, this deck always does that. I love it. So Aquarius, keep going, man. You guys might be just, right on the edge of something new and, you know, surrender to it. Just let it unfold without trying to control every little detail. Your spiritual guidance is getting louder, okay, for a reason. Because you are being guided to your soul purpose and you are ready to expand. So the people who can support that next version of your life, they're starting to show up. So make room for them. If there's any extra baggage that you are carrying right now that you know is holding you back, it's time to let it go because that's you clearing room for what wants to come through and what is true for you. Okay. So trust the path that is unfolding. All right. You're being guided to a more meaningful life with more meaningful people, and opportunities and things that are going to support you in ways you probably don't even realize you need. So just stay open to it. Stay curious. All right, Aquarius, my loves, I would love to hear how this landed for you. So let me know in the comments what resonated. I would love to hear about that. And of course, if you want to book like a personal reading with me to see how this energy is going to impact you on a direct level, I'll go ahead and drop my booking information in the video description. And of course, if you are not already following me on Facebook, I would love to invite you to do so. Every week I do Tarot Tuesday, which is like a free card pull for my community. So anyone who comments, I pull free cards for. I also offer some special services on that day too, like deep discounts, like mini readings on a donation basis. Anything over $5, you get a mini reading. And I also on Tarot Tuesdays offer your chance to book a full recorded reading at a discounted price. So that way you guys don't have to wait for availability and schedule something live or whatever. I do like recorded readings. So be sure to give me a follow on Facebook. All right, my loves, I am sending you all so much love and light, strength for the journey ahead, and many blessings, Aqua Babes. Take care.